We're here with Grady Bussey of Action Publishing, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the business.
I founded Action Publishing in 2001, so we've been in business for 17 years. We are currently the fourth largest manufacturer of day planners, custom student day planners in the U.S. We've sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 million units over our 17-year history into all 50 states and several countries around the world.
Can you tell us a little bit about your clients and how many active customers you currently have?
Absolutely. Action has about 1,000 active customers right now. We did roughly 2.5 million gross sales last year, and that was about 800,000 custom academic units.
And so you produce student planners, but you also have several supplements available?
Yeah, we produce student planners, and a typical student planner is the planner itself, and very often they'll be customized with a handbook and a custom cover for the school. We also have a lot of supplemental information. We have, as an example, bullying, drug use, things like that. We also have a number of life skills supplements as well. From the outset, Action Publishing has designed products that revolve around helping students improve themselves, their lives, and the world. We do that through great design, inspiring content, and professional photography. Our products focus on life skills, including time management, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, information literacy, and initiative.
All right. From the outset, all Action products have revolved around three primary areas. I, which is the student himself, of course. Us relates to their relationships, and all, which refers to the world around them. As an example, for example, the I aspect teaches the life skills of time management and critical thinking. Us teaches collaboration and communication, and all revolves around initiative and information literacy.
Okay.
Additionally, our products focus on STEAM careers, and we discuss those in an engaging method by focusing each month on what we call the Achiever Profile that highlights a young person who has been successful in some STEAM or STEM education aspect. But as an example, this month focuses on information literacy, and this particular young person has been successful in a field relating to information literacy. We do a brief profile, and then for additional information, the students can scan the QR code, and that takes them to a website for further information. We feel that engaging students with individuals their own age is a really effective way to promote the interest in STEM careers, as well as teaching information literacy and the other life skills.
Grady, how many grade levels do you cover with these planners?
Basically, we cover pre-K through collegiate. We have primary grade levels, which is that agenda right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is an undated, very simplistic. But even that, we focus on some of the STEAM aspects. Then we move into a elementary grade level.
And that's this one.
That's this one,
Mm-hmm.
the Amaze.
Oh, yep. Spelling words.
And here again, we
Subjects.
still focus on the life skills and STEM content. And then we get into the middle school agenda. And each month we have the Achiever Profile, and you'll notice that the Achiever Profile this particular month focuses on the life skill of communication. And we move into the high school, primarily high school, but some middle schools use this format as well. We use a lot of QR codes so that if the student takes an interest in a topic, they can typically find out more about that. This is, of course, a vertical format. This model is used primarily in college and high school. Smaller format, and this is actually a horizontal format as opposed to the vertical. Again, we focus on life skills content. As an example, if I begin at this month it focuses on the life skill of time management. This particular young achiever has done something that relates to time management, with, of course, the QR code offering deeper information on that. As we go through each month, the content on each week of the month focuses on time management this month, right?
Okay.
Or whatever life skill is appropriate for that particular month. So we reinforce those skills throughout the month that we begin with. So
That's nice. So there's a little reinforcement every week.
right? And we also, that reinforcement is not only included in, as an example, this is a time management puzzle that we access through the QR code, but we also support that with a vocabulary word that has something to do with time management, and a little bit of reflection, an opportunity to reflect on that topic. Another thing that we've heard from numerous students over the years is they really appreciate the fact that our products don't talk down to the students. The students very often have complained that some of the products on the market are speaking to them as children, which of course, as you and I both know, they are, but they don't like to be addressed as such.
No, they don't.
So we've always gone to a lot of work to not talk down to students in any way. Matter of fact, our middle school agenda is very similar in content to our high school and collegiate models. So it stretches the students a little bit to expand their vocabulary, and they may be introduced to concepts that are a little beyond where they're at in school, but we feel it is a good vehicle to provide that opportunity to stretch.
Sure.
So, and then finally, the last product we have, and this is not a customizable product. This product we actually have manufactured in Korea, and it comes to us complete, bound, and uncustomizable. But it's a very low-cost product. But even though we still provide the life skills and STEM content, we still have the ISL information, and you'll notice that this is an undated agenda, so it can be picked up at any time throughout the year, and if you have extra copies, they can be carried forward into the next year if you like. But even though we don't have the full color photography in here, even though it's a very low-cost product, we still go to a lot of effort to provide extraordinarily good content.
Grady, who do you think the best type of customer to purchase Action Publishing, your student planners, would be?
Well, I think actually the best possible buyer would be a competitor. We're the fourth largest in the U.S., so I would say that we'd be a good target size to acquire, small enough to be affordable, but not so small as to be irrelevant. Um, the custom student planner business, as a competitor would know, is a fairly difficult industry for the uninitiated. So I think somebody that knows how things work, knows how to do the customization, because we all really do very much the same thing. We add the custom cover, we add the school handbook, we add supplements, vinyl pockets, page markers, wall charts. It's all pretty similar. But I do think that for someone to pick up my existing customer base, which is somewhere around 1,000 customers, and add that to their customer base, and integrate our volume, roughly 800,000 units last year, into their production, would make a lot of sense. And it may make sense, I don't know, depending on the capacity of the buyer, to kind of scale into that a little bit. If you've got the capacity to add 800,000 to 1,000,000 agendas, certainly it would be a remarkable impact on the bottom line, because most of the costs are already in place. So really it would be an opportunity for somebody to, one, dramatically increase their volume without dramatically increasing expenses, and two, we've got a really well thought of, highly respected product line and a really happy customer base. Educators around the country have known about Action Publishing for an Action Agendas, our product name, for 17 years now. And so there are an awful lot of educators around the country that think very highly of this organization and our products. And I think it would be a wonderful addition to any of our primary competitors' product lines.
Great. And it sounds like from what you just said, you feel like that would be a pretty easy integration for them.
I think it would be a fairly easy integration. If I imagine Action Publishing acquiring a competitor and rolling their product line into our production process, I think it would be fairly straightforward. In our case, we have always manufactured our custom products domestically, using 100% domestic raw materials and keeping our supply chain as short as possible. I do know some of our competitors do fully custom products out of China or overseas, and it certainly, in that case, I think it would be extraordinarily easy to scale, provided you've got the vendors that can handle an increase in volume, which has been my experience that Asian vendors have a lot of scalability. So, a manufacturer that wanted to add our product line to an offshore manufacturing process, I think would be extraordinarily profitable. We have always been admittedly somewhat idealistic company, in that it's always been very important to me to provide the jobs and the revenue domestically. But I don't believe that that's a critical aspect of the custom student planner market. I believe that the typical school is under such budget constraints that they really don't have the luxury of seeking out and utilizing exclusively U.S. built student agendas, or textbooks, or whatever. So I think it would be a very easy integration, especially for a company that did most of their manufacturing offshore.
So speaking of that seamless integration, you said you have a salesperson who would be willing to help with the transition?
I do. One of my sales people would be interested in continuing employment. We've discussed perhaps this particular salesperson staying on board to help with the introduction of the new company to our existing customers. This particular salesperson has been with us for roughly 7 years, knows all of our customers, knows our product line inside and out, and would be really a terrific asset to a company to help integrate Action's customers into the acquiring customers or acquiring company's customer list. So yeah, I think that would be a wonderful relationship, and this person also is extraordinarily adept at working with our database and our CRM software, ERP software, and is intimately familiar with the entire operation. So yeah, I think that'd be really helpful. This particular person is not interested in relocation, so I do think it would require a remote work situation, which of course, given today's technology, is really not much of a challenge.
Right. How do you market Action Publishing?
We primarily market through email campaigns that we facilitate through SendGrid. SendGrid has been an amazing tool for us in getting emails through. Schools have some fairly rigorous firewalls, things like that, so it's not always easy to get an email to an educator, but we've been very successful through SendGrid. We also do a lot through Google AdWords, those sorts of things, obviously our website, and that sort of thing. So it's primarily direct marketing, primarily through email, but we also make an awful lot of phone calls. Educators are somewhat difficult to reach, so email seems to be the most effective approach. But more and more we're doing more texts and whatever vehicle we can find. So.
Grady, can we ask why you're selling?
Absolutely. My wife and I lost a close friend recently, and we sat at the memorial service, and really caused us. You don't know how a death like that will affect you, but it caused us to kind of question how we were spending our time. So after memorial, we had a discussion, my wife and I, and we decided that as opposed to going for 65, which has been, basically what I was doing, I've got another 3 years that I anticipated working. That's roughly 1,100 days. And we decided that we'd rather spend those 1,100 days together, playing and exploring and just spending time together. So that's it. It's been a great business. It's been an amazingly gratifying business. I feel we've really made some positive impacts in the world and in the students that use our planners. I mean, I'm not naive enough to believe that some of our products don't end up as locker fodder and never opened again. But over the 17 years, I've gotten lots of comments from students and emails and messages about the difference that our products have made in the lives of their, these students, and how their grades have improved, and how their interest has improved, and how they've maybe discovered something through some of our content that caused them to explore an avenue that they ultimately ended up following. So I think that's I think that's an important legacy to continue, and I'd like to see that see a strong company pick this up and carry it on forward.
Grady, are you available to the buyer to help with training?
I would be available kind of on a consulting basis, I suppose. I'd be happy to answer questions, that sort of thing. But I am primarily at this point interested in retiring. but I am also quite interested in seeing my legacy continue. So if there's something I can do to facilitate that, I'd be happy to help any way I could.
Okay. Well, Grady, is there anything else you'd like to share with prospective buyers about the company?
Well, I think back to the the idealistic aspect, I do think that Action Publishing has done an extraordinarily good job over these last 17 years of developing a product line that is truly beneficial to the student. We have focused on really making an impact on the students' lives. All of our content has been professionally created and edited. All our photography is professional photography, and we've put a lot of time and thought into the development of our product line and the content thereof. And I would be absolutely thrilled to see this legacy continued.